Hey, good morning. I understand you called the police. What's the problem here?
Yeah, I just went upstairs and I just seen my my friends. I think they're dead. They're dead.
You were inside the house?
I went upstairs into their bedroom and I found them dead.
Did
Yeah.
you see anybody else inside?
No, I didn't see anyone else. I went upstairs and I just saw them and I ran right downstairs to the pool and made a phone call. Called you guys.
And who are you?
I'm Latifa Abdul Mubdi. I'm a friend of the leads.
And were they expecting you?
Yeah, we were supposed to have a meeting today around 9 o'clock. I arrived, I saw that the gate was open, and I just drove through it and I went upstairs and knocked on the door. I didn't hear anybody. I was calling for them, and I went around to the side, went into the kitchen, and the kitchen door was open. I saw a hole in the door. I thought that was real weird, so I stood out there for a minute. And I called for them, and then I went upstairs inside their house, and then that's when I found them.
Okay, and as far as you know, there's nobody else inside.
I didn't look around. I just went in there, and that's what I saw.
Okay, listen, we're going to try to contain the building here, and we're going to go inside and conduct a search. I'll have an officer stay with you right here, and then you just kind of stay here till we finish up, and we're going to come back and talk to you, okay?
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to conduct a protective sweep, and I'm going to enter the building along with a partner. We've talked about protective sweeps in the past, so we've initially talked to the reporting party. As far as we know, at this point, there are possibly at least two people dead inside, nobody found alive inside, and we're going to begin. We are at the southeast corner of the building. I am looking at the kitchen door. The door is open. I'm also noticing a circular hole inside the door, actually on the door. It's a glass door. It's very dark inside. The drapes are all pulled. The time now is about 9:20 in the morning, Sunday morning. I'm entering through the kitchen, and on the other side of the kitchen, in a hallway, I see a stairway going to a second floor. I'm walking up the stairway. As I near the top of the stairs, there's a bedroom located on the southwest corner of the building. It appears to be a children's bedroom. There's nobody there. I'm entering through a bathroom at this point, and I'm opening the north door of the bathroom, which opens up into the master bedroom. The master bedroom is located on the northwest corner of the building. I'm turning the lights on, and as I look into the master bedroom, I see obvious signs of violence. There is an extensive amount of blood located throughout the room, on the bed, on the walls. Just to the right of the bed is a woman. She's in a supine position. Her right leg is cocked. Her right knee is cocked up on a platform. The bed is on a platform. The right knee is cocked up on a platform. Her legs are slightly spread. There appears to be a ligature mark on her throat. Quite a bit of blood around her abdomen area. I'm going to check for signs of life. Her skin is cold to the touch. Her pupils are fixed and dilated. There's no respiration, no pulse. She's dead. On the left side of the bedroom, or the west side of the bedroom, in a sitting position, is a man. He's wearing boxer shorts. His back is against the wall. There is a very obvious laceration to his throat, extending just below his right ear to just below his left ear. It looks like the gap is about 1.5 to 2 inches wide at the widest point. His upper torso is drenched in blood. There is no pulse, no respiration. His skin is cold to the touch. His pupils are fixed and dilated. He is dead. At this point, I'm going to notify the coroner through the dispatch center that we have two people who are deceased. and we're requesting the coroner's presence. We also are requesting detectives and crime scene investigators. I'm going to seal this room and establish an officer with a crime scene log at one at each door. I'm going to continue my search. The rest of the upstairs area is empty. Moving downstairs and going through the other rooms in the downstairs area, they are also empty. No signs of life, no suspects, no additional victims. I'm going to move outside and reestablish contact with the reporting party and evidently at least one of the witnesses to this incident. Ma'am, I have been inside and we have searched the house. We found nobody else, and I did examine both victims upstairs. Now, you said the man's name is Charles?
Yeah, Charles Bleeds and Valerie.
And Valerie?
Yeah.
Okay, I examined them, and they are dead. I'm sad to report. I would like to pick up our interview, though, where we left off. I have a coroner is on the way, along with detectives. I understand when I looked inside, there appeared to be a children's bedroom. Did the Charles and Valerie, do they have children?
Yeah, they actually have 2 kids.
And do you know where they might be?
Last I seen, they were with their aunt, like yesterday after the party.
Okay, you mentioned a party. Is that the last time you saw these people alive?
Yeah, they had a big party here yesterday for their son Michael, and that was the last time I had seen the kids.
What was the purpose of the party?
Oh, Michael's birthday was
How old
yesterday. Was he? He turned 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you mentioned another child?
Yeah, they have another daughter,
Okay.
and she was there too. They had.
What's her name?
Her name is Barbara.
Okay, and how old is she?
She's 8.
Okay. Tell me about the party.
The party was just, like a kids' party, balloons and clowns and kids and just food, and everybody was just having a good time.
About how many people were there?
Around 20, 25 people were there, a dozen kids or so.
Okay, who were the rest of the people?
Just family. I really only knew, just Michael and Barbara and, just the parents. And I really didn't know anybody else but Matilda, but just family.
Who was Matilda?
Yeah, they're Valerie's sister, Matilda.
Okay.
I knew her around the same time that I met Valerie. And she took them around 2, 3 o'clock before
When you
I
say
left.
she, you're referring to this Matilda lady?
Yeah, she took them.
The kids?
Yeah, she took them after the party to her house.
Do you know where she lives?
I'm not exactly sure of her address. I just know how to get there, but I don't know exactly where she
You know what
lives.
city it's in, or?
Yeah, I think she lives in Studio City.
Okay. So, anything happened at the party that, okay, you mentioned there were about 25 people, about a dozen of them were children. Did anything else happen at the party? Anybody else show up? Anything unusual happen?
I can't really think of anything, significant. It's just, a clown party. And
Oh, there was a clown there.
yeah, they had a clown there, telling jokes and blowing up balloons and stuff for the kids. And that's really the only thing that really stood out.
This may be a silly question to ask, but can you describe what the clown looked like?
A basic clown, clown makeup, the outfit, the little, red nose, and, a clown.
Can you tell maybe height, body type?
He wasn't really that tall. I guess, like medium height, like around 5'6", 5'7".
Okay.
He wasn't like a big clown or anything like that, just a regular, average-sized person.
And what time was he there?
He arrived there around, I guess, 12 o'clock.
Okay.
12
And
o'clock for the party.
how long was he there?
Till the party, he was there for about 45 minutes, an hour.
Okay.
I seen him, entertaining the kids.
Okay. So then the clown left, and that and how much longer did the party last?
About another hour or 2,
Okay.
The party kind of broke up around 2 something. So, most of the kids parents, came pick up the children, and that was pretty much it.
Now, what were you doing there?
Oh, I was invited because of, actually we had a meeting that was scheduled, around the same time as Michael's birthday, because I'm supposed to be doing some decoration on the house. And
Is that the kind of profession you have, or is that what you do for a living?
yes, I'm an interior designer.
Okay.
And Valerie and Charles, they had contacted me about, doing some work inside. And so, we were doing that while I was there for the party. I've known them for a few years, so, I come around for the family events. And
So you have a social relationship with them in addition to this business relationship?
sure, we get together occasionally. They invite me over for parties and, dinner parties and what have you. And then because, he's an attorney and she's also a fashion designer, we kind of like revolve in the same circles of people and what have you.
Okay. What time did you leave?
I left around, the meeting didn't last that long, around 3:30, around 3:30 or so.
Okay. Was anybody else left at the house at the time you left?
When I left, I didn't really see anybody around. I just noticed they were cleaning up, and I pretty much left after that.
And then you came back today, and what was the point of the meeting today?
Because, we had a short meeting yesterday. We wanted to pick it up today, and around 9 o'clock we were scheduled to meet up, and then also so I can look at their sketches of what they wanted to do in the house, and that's when I noticed the gate was open around that time.
Okay. Now, so let's go back to that point. You said around 9 o'clock you had this meeting, so you showed up a few minutes earlier than that, and the road out here is via Campanilla, so you came up the road, the access road to their property.
Yeah.
And what did you see when you got to the gate?
Well, in these kind of neighborhoods, normally, gates and things like that are normally always closed. You can't really see inside people's property. So, that kind of stood out to me. But, I just drove up, and normally you have to, press the button, to get into the intercom. And, I thought that was real odd. But I just drove through the path. I figured maybe they were expecting me or something like that. So I drove up, and then I went up to the door, knocked on the door. I didn't get an answer. So that, I was like, okay.
Now, let's back up to the gate again. You said the gate was open?
Yeah, the gate was open.
Now, I noticed there's a speaker box on the gate, with a push-to-talk button, and then there's a keypad. How had you planned on getting in?
Well, normally I would press the button, and then, one of them would, buzz me in, and then that's how I would get inside.
Okay. Now, when I looked at that...
Or actually, I have the access code, too. But,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Normally I would check in and make sure that somebody was there, so they would answer the intercom.
When I went through that gate, shortly before I talked to you, I noticed there were some wires dangling loose under the speaker box. Had you noticed that?
To be honest with you, I didn't even really see that because
Okay.
the gate, you know what I mean? That part, I really thought maybe they just left it open for me because I
Okay.
can come inside,
Now, did the gate work okay yesterday when you were
Sure.
at the house?
Sure.
Okay. And you used the keypad yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So you came through the driveway, and you went to the patio area, and you mentioned you went to the living room, the front door first.
Yeah, I knocked on the front door because, I figured, the door would be first place you'd go, And they didn't answer the door. I called their names. They didn't answer the door. And then I went around to the side. Maybe I figured the side door might be open. And the side door was open, and it had a hole in the door.
What kind of a hole?
It looked like somebody had cracked it with it wasn't shattered all the way.
And it wasn't like that yesterday?
Oh no, no.
Okay. So you see this hole, and you mentioned that the kitchen door was open?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
The sliding door was open.
And were the drapes pulled at that time? Because I can see that they're pulled now.
As a matter of fact,
Kind of
the
dark
house,
inside.
The house was quite dark, It looked like they were not quite awake yet,
Did you think that was unusual?
Yeah, because they normally have the windows, open and everything's really airy. It's a really nice big house, and so, they have a fence, so they like to have light coming in, what have you.
Now, when you arrived, did you see any cars on the road? Was anybody in the area going the other way, perhaps? Did you pass anybody on the way in?
I don't recall. I don't recall anybody being out there.
So you walked into the kitchen, as you said, and then you went up the stairs, And now I went through, I noticed that there's a children's bedroom upstairs also, just down the hallway from the master bedroom. And it was empty. And that's, is that as you found it?
I didn't go to the kids' bedroom. I just went directly to the master bedroom.
But they weren't at the house as far as you know. You had mentioned they had gone with their Aunt
kids?
Matilda.
The kids?
Yes.
No, the kids weren't home.
Okay. So then you went to the bedroom, and what happened at that point?
Well, I went to the bedroom, and I just got a weird feeling that, something just wasn't really right, So, I turned the doorknob, and that's when I seen them. They were out there. They were just laying on the floor,
Okay. And then what'd you do after that?
I just ran downstairs. I ran out the house as fast as I could, because I didn't really know what was going on. And then I ran downstairs and went over there by the pool, because I knew they had a phone over there by the pool house. And that's when I called you guys.
Okay. You mentioned that Charles is a lawyer.
Yeah.
What does he do? What kind of law work does he do?
He's a corporate lawyer.
Okay. And where's his office?
In Century City.
Are you aware of any problems he might have had with a client, or any disputes he's had with anybody?
No, he was very well liked, and I really don't know about any problems that he may have had with anybody. I can't think of anybody who would want to do that to him.
How old is Charles?
Charles is around 44, 45.
Okay. And what about Valerie? Now, what did she do?
Oh, she's a fashion designer at Neiman Marcus in Beverly Hills.
All right. And how do you know her?
We went to school together.
College?
Yeah, went to college together. And we knew each other for around 6, 7 years now.
Okay. Did either one of them mention that they were concerned or they were afraid or someone had been bothering them?
No,
Okay.
I can't think of anybody. I mean, I'm trying to think of right now who would possibly want to do that to them, because they just were very well liked. Like I said, they have parties and, very liked in the community, and, I just can't think of anybody who would want to do such a thing to them.
Okay. I'm almost through. I just want to ask you one or two more questions, and you may be contacted again to provide the story, and we're going to want to know where you are. You said your name is Latifa.
Latifa Abdul Mufti.
Okay. And you, of course, will provide us with your phone number and everything in just a few minutes.
Certainly.
At the party then, I just want to review one more time. About 25 people, you said, about a dozen kids and some adults. You didn't know anybody except for this Matilda,
Yeah.
who's Valerie's sister.
Mm-hmm.
And you said the party broke up around 2.
Yeah, around 2:30 or so.
And Matilda took the children with her at that time.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know where they are at this point other than probably with her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You left around 3:30 after your meeting with the leads,
Mm-hmm.
and you were supposed to return back this morning, which you did, and that's when you found them. So the last time you saw them alive was yesterday following the meeting?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, and then you discovered them this morning shortly after you arrived?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea who might have done this?
No, I can't think of anybody. No.
Okay. Let me ask you, let me tell you one more thing. I'm going to ask you something. I'm going to need to take you back inside to identify the victims, make a formal identification. Are you okay with that?
If it's necessary,
Okay.
Time is 0900 hours. 911 David and Eunice DeBack report of unknown trouble, suspicious circumstances at 27125 via Campanilla. 911 David and Eunice further possible DB, multiple DBs. See the RP in front of the location.
It's about 2 p.m., 1400 hours on Sunday. We have just about finished the crime scene investigation at 27127 Via Campania, and we've now begun the process of canvassing the neighborhood. There are only two houses in this neighborhood. Via Campania, which runs north and south, ends in a cul-de-sac about a quarter of a mile south of the victim's residence. Just across the road from the victim's residence is the address of 27128, and we're about ready to talk to the resident at that location. Hi, I'm Officer Lewis. I'm conducting an investigation in the neighborhood. I'm sorry to say we've had a tragic occurrence across the road at the Leeds house, and we're trying to gather some facts, and I wonder if you would mind answering a few questions.
No, not at all.
Do you know the Leeds?
Yeah, they live right across the street. I don't know them really well, but we say hello to each other every once in a while.
When's the last time you saw him?
The last time I saw him was on Saturday afternoon, about 2 o'clock. They had a birthday party for one of their children. I saw people coming and going.
Okay. Have you heard or seen anything unusual in the last couple of days?
Well, Sunday night, or Sunday morning, I should say, at about 4 o'clock, I woke up. I thought I heard some yelling, and I wasn't sure where it was coming from, so I went back to bed. And then at about 5 o'clock, I woke back up because I heard some loud noise, and I looked out the window and realized it was a car. It was a dark van that was driving out of our cul-de-sac northbound on Via Campus.
You talked about a van. This van that you saw, where were you when you saw it?
Well, I was in my bedroom, and I looked out my bedroom window.
This is about 5 in the morning?
5 o'clock.
Okay. What attracted you to this particular van?
I heard a loud noise that woke me up.
Such as? What was it?
It sounded like a muffler, like
Okay,
an old, rusty, kind of beat-up car muffler.
So as I understand it, then you hear this muffler, and you went to the window?
I went to my window and looked out, and I saw the van driving northbound out of the cul-de-sac.
5 in the morning, was it still fairly dark then?
Yes,
Okay.
very dark.
Were you able to see who was in the van?
No, I couldn't tell. I was thinking maybe it was the paper boy because he comes early in the morning, but that was still too early for him. And when I saw the van, I realized it was not the paper boy, and the lights were out on the van too, so
All right.
it kind of drew my attention to it.
Were you able to see a license number or anything?
No, I didn't see anything like
Now,
that.
Now, you mentioned the cul-de-sac. Is there anything to the south of your house up to that cul-de-sac?
Just trees and bushes and open land. It's pretty hard to
Okay.
see anything.
Let me go back to the noise you heard, the yelling. Could you tell where that was coming from?
I don't know. I couldn't. I just heard yelling. It sounded like possibly two people, but
Okay. Could you
Not
tell
sure.
whether they were male or female? Or?
no, I couldn't tell. It was just kind of yelling.
And you mentioned you couldn't hear where it was coming from?
No.
Okay. Do you know what a gunshot is? Have you
Yes.
ever heard a gunshot?
Yes.
Did you hear a gunshot at about this time or any time during this time period?
No. I think I definitely would have heard it too.
Okay. So you see the van. Let me kind of summarize. You hear the sound. There's yelling at 4 o'clock. And you were asleep, and it woke you up.
Yes.
Then you went back to sleep again.
Yes.
And then about 5, you see this van, or you hear a loud noise, muffler, and you go to the window, you see a van, and the van is going northbound on Via Campania. Lights are out.
Yes.
Could you tell what color the van was?
It looked like a dark color.
Just a
maybe
dark
like
color?
A dark blue or something. I'm not sure.
Okay. And have you ever seen this van before?
No, not to my knowledge.
Now, did you see anything unusual at this birthday party the Leeds were having?
No.
You mentioned
no.
you can just see people coming and
Just
going.
lots of people coming and going, lots of parked cars on our street. It's hard to park. That's about it.
It's a quiet neighborhood, no problems.
Very quiet.
Thank you. If I have any other questions, I'll give you a call. Is there anything
Okay.
that you'd like to add before I leave?
No, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You talked about a van. This van that you saw, where were you when you saw it?
Well, I was in my bedroom, and I looked out my bedroom window.
This is about 5 in the morning?
5 o'clock.
Okay. What attracted you to this particular
I
van?
heard a loud noise that woke me up.
Such as? What was it?
It sounded like a muffler, like
Okay,
an
so-
old, rusty, kind of beat-up car muffler.
So as I understand it, then you hear this muffler, and you went to the window?
I went to my window and looked out, and I saw the van driving northbound out of the cul-de-sac.
5 in the morning, was it still fairly dark then?
Yes,
Okay.
Very dark.
Were you able to see who was in the van?
No, I couldn't tell. I was thinking maybe it was the paper boy because he comes early in the morning, but that was still too early for him. And when I saw the van, I realized it was not the paper boy, and the lights were out on the van too, so
All right.
it kind of drew my attention to it.
Were you able to see a license number or anything?
No, I didn't see anything like
Now,
that.
now you mentioned the cul-de-sac. Is there anything to the south of your house up to that cul-de-sac?
Just trees and bushes and open land. It's pretty hard to
Okay.
see anything.
Let me go back to the noise you heard, the yelling. Could you tell where that was coming from?
I don't know. I couldn't. I just heard yelling. It sounded like possibly two people, but
Okay. Could you
Not
tell
sure.
whether they were male or female, or?
no, I couldn't tell. It was just kind of yelling.
And you mentioned you couldn't hear where it was coming from.
No.
Okay. Do you know what a gunshot is? Have you
Yes.
ever heard a gunshot?
Yes.
Did you hear a gunshot at about this time, or any time during this time period?
No. I think I definitely would have heard it too.
Okay. So you see the van. Let me kind of summarize. You hear the sound. There's yelling at 4 o'clock, and you were asleep, and it woke you up.
Yes.
And you went back to sleep again.
Yes.
And then about 5, you see this van, or you hear a loud noise, muffler, and you go to the window, you see a van, and the van is going northbound on Via Campanilla. Lights are out.
Yes.
Could you tell what color the van was?
It looked like a dark color.
Just a
maybe
dark
like
color?
A dark blue or something. I'm not sure.
Okay. And have you ever seen this van before?
No, not to my knowledge.
Now, did you see anything unusual at this birthday party the Leeds were having?
No.
You mentioned
no.
you can just see people coming and
Just
going.
lots of people coming and going. Lots of parked cars on our street. It's hard to park. That's about it.
It's a quiet neighborhood, no problems.
Very quiet.
Thank you. If I have any other questions, I'll give you a call. Is there anything
Okay.
that you'd like to add before I leave?
No, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This is the Leeds 187 murder, the double murder. This is an aerial view of the property, the victim's residence, plus the surrounding areas. And let me start with the general neighborhood description. The property is on Via Campanilla. The address is 27127. Now, Via Campanilla, it's slightly off screen, but it runs north and south, and about a quarter mile to an eighth of a mile below the property is a cul-de-sac. You also can't see that on the screen. To the north of the Leeds residence is a neighbor at 27131, and then to the east of the Leeds property is another neighbor, 27128. From Via Campanilla is an entry road. The entry road passes a county fire road. It's undeveloped. It's a dirt road, approximately 100 yards from the gate. The gate area, it's a secured gate. There's a voice box and a keypad about 25 to 20 feet east of the gate. The gate is electronically opened either from inside the residence or through the use of the keypad. There is a fence that runs on the east side of the property, and then a driveway that enters a circular patio arrangement, circular driveway. There's a pathway to a patio that's on the north side, just adjacent to the living room, where the front door is. Another pathway running south, which is just outside the kitchen area, and there's a door leading into the kitchen. As you can see from the sketch in front of you, the two bottom floors that are visible, the kitchen and the living room. There's a stairway that leads up to the second floor. The children's room is the first room on the second floor. There's a bathroom, and then from the bathroom is an entry door into the master bedroom on the south side. There's another entry door from the hallway on the east side. Out of the structure, in the outlying areas, there's a tennis court located in the northwest corner of the property. There's a swimming pool and patio arrangement just to the east of the tennis court. The area is protected privacy-wise from a series of hedges that run along the north side of the pool area. Off the sketch and out of the camera area, you have a bridle trail, hiking path with some extensive brush area just north of the property. As the sketch depicts, there's about 200 feet from the fence line to the corner of the building, another 100 feet from the fence line to the county fire road, and an additional 100 feet from the county fire road to Via Campanilla. So the distance from Via Campanilla to the house itself is around 400 feet. The property has a security system, West Tech Security Systems. There's a control box on the south side of the building, just outside the kitchen area. Conduit runs into that control box. Also mounted on both corners of the house, in the northeast corner and the southeast corner, is a surveillance CCTV system, and that pretty much comprises the security system. That also is an overview on the sketch and the crime scene area. Good afternoon, I'm Officer Lewis from the Police Department, and we're conducting an investigation. Your neighbor next door has suffered some severe consequences from a crime that was committed, and we're trying to gather facts regarding that crime. And so I wondered if I could ask you a few questions.
Sure.
You know the Leeds, your next door neighbors?
Yes, I do.
Okay. How well do you know them?
I don't really know them. They're quite family. I've known them about 5 years.
Okay. Can you tell me if anything unusual or suspicious has happened in the neighborhood within the last day or two?
Well, I do remember about Friday, around the afternoon, I did see a man who didn't seem quite well. Something weird about him.
What attracted your attention to him?
Well, he was lingering around the apartment, not the apartment, I'm sorry, the house.
Right.
Around, we have a trail that goes from our area.
Okay.
And it just seemed a little weird because it didn't really look like he was hiking.
Okay. That was a hiking trail that runs between
Yes.
your house and the Leeds house?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And where were you when you saw him?
I was in the balcony
Okay.
of my house.
And this was on Friday, you said?
Yes, Friday.
Okay. In the afternoon?
Yes, around noontime.
Okay. And what did he do?
He just he was looking over, like through the hedges. There's like this thick bush that goes around. He was peeping in. Sometimes they look around our houses because our houses are nice.
Okay.
So that's what he was doing.
Now, where were these hedges?
They were off. They were between my house and the neighbor's house.
Okay, the Leeds?
Yes.
All right. How long was he there?
About 10 minutes.
Anybody else in the area at that time?
No.
How would you
him.
describe him?
I remember he was pretty tall. He had blonde hair,
Okay.
thin,
All
thin
right.
build.
How was he dressed?
That day, I remember he had a white shirt and some jeans on.
All right. Had you ever seen him before?
No, I've never seen him before.
If you were to see him again, could you identify him?
Yes, I can.
All right. What do you think the distance was between where you were and where he was?
Wow. I wasn't that close because I remember I did get my binoculars
Okay.
to take a good look at him, but we weren't close.
All right. Was anybody else with him?
No. I saw him. He was alone.
Did you see a car?
No, I didn't see a car.
Now, as I understand it, there's a cul-de-sac just to the south of the Leeds residence. So there's not much traffic that's in that area? Or?
No, it's a quiet neighborhood.
Okay. Now, did you see this guy again?
Yes, I actually saw him on the next day, on Saturday,
All right.
around the same time.
All right.
And I do remember the neighbors were having a party because they told me
All right.
about it. Little kids were playing around and stuff.
Okay.
So I saw him doing the same thing. He was looking over into their area.
Do you recall which specific area he was looking into?
He was by where the pool is located at.
The swimming pool?
Swimming pool.
And what was he doing?
He was just peeping in, looking
Okay.
inside
And-
their
and
residence.
What did you do?
Well, that's when I thought it was a little weird because I never seen him before, and he came back and was doing the same thing. Why would he do it again?
Right.
And this time I did call the sheriff's department.
Okay. And did they respond?
Yes, they did. I did keep an eye on him with my binoculars again.
Right.
But by the time they came, he was gone.
Okay. Did you hear any sounds that night that would have attracted your attention?
That night?
Yes.
No, I didn't.
Do you know what a gunshot sounds like?
Yes.
Did you hear anything that resembled a gunshot?
No, I didn't.
Did you hear any yelling or any loud voices during the night?
No, I'm a very heavy sleeper.
Okay.
I didn't hear anything.
Do you have anything else that you can add to the information you've already given us?
No, I don't think so, no.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your cooperation, and you may be recontacted.
Oh, thank you.
This is the crime scene investigation at the Leeds house. This is the bedroom again in the upstairs part of the house, northwest corner. You should have at this point completed your interview with the RP, the reporting party, and you can select a number of areas of the crime scene to begin. This particular crime has essentially 3 crime scenes, and I think I would probably select the hottest area, which would be the bedroom. That's where the bodies were. So having said that, I think that's where I'm going to start, and I think that's where you should start. Opening the door into that master bedroom and looking north, you can notice the bay windows behind the bed. You're now looking north. The mirror to your right is on the east wall. The west wall is to your left, and the foreground is the area just south of the bed. On the right-hand side, essentially on the southeast corner of the bed platform, is the female victim we examined during the protective sweep. We're going to spend a little more time with her at this point. You've already checked for vital signs, and she is dead. I want to examine the wounds. The most noticeable wound as we first examine her would be the throat area. She has ligature marks across the throat. Recall that ligature marks are an indication of asphyxiation, strangulation. Moving down on her left breast, she has 3 lacerations across the left breast. The middle laceration crosses her nipple. Just below that, in the abdomen area, just above her navel, her belly button, is what appears to be a gunshot wound, an entry wound. It is just above the navel. And below that, into the vaginal area, are a number of puncture wounds. After counting them, we have discovered there are 6 deep puncture wounds in the vaginal area. Because she has a gunshot wound, we need to know if there's an exit wound. So we're going to roll her over onto her left side, and we're going to examine her back area. And there is an exit wound in the back area. The exit wound is quite a bit larger than the entry wound. The entry wound was probably about a centimeter and a half, and I would estimate that the exit wound is approximately 4 centimeters in diameter. There is no bullet or bullet fragment underneath her. There is no hole in the floor. We're essentially done with this victim. Let's move over to the other victim. This man is, I should point out, of course, since we were talking about vaginal wounds, that she is completely nude and in a supine position, but I think we covered that in the protective sweep. Over against the west wall is a man. He's sitting with his back against a wall. His eyes are open. We've already determined that he was dead during the protective sweep. He's wearing his boxer shorts, and his upper torso is completely drenched in blood. His throat is severed, slashed. His trachea is severed. His esophagus is severed. And the wound runs from his left ear all the way to his right ear. And at the largest point, about the center of the throat, The wound is approximately 4 centimeters in diameter. There are no further wounds on this man. He is Mr. Leeds, as we later learn. Examining the rest of the room, looking at the bed, notice there is quite a bit of blood in the bed area. When we look further into that bed, we find a hole through the center of the mattress. Taking the mattress and box springs up, and beneath the bed we find a hole into the floor. Looking into that floor, we're going to find a bullet fragment. When we extract it, we learn that it appears to be a .45 slug. We're going to recover that bullet. There are no expended shell casings, by the way, anywhere in the house and anywhere in the room. Looking at the streak of blood below the bed, that's to the south of the bed, between the victim's body and the man's body is a streak, a trail of blood. You can measure it. In fact, the measurements are, let's see, about 15 feet in length, and extending 10 feet west of the east wall and about 22 feet north of the south wall. Those measurements are listed on your sheet of evidence that is one of the handouts that you received. On the east wall, there is a splatter of blood that gives the appearance of being arterial spray. So the splatter pattern is known as arterial spray, caused by the severing of an artery. It extends, it's at about a 45-degree angle in terms of configuration. Examining the rest of the room, I see no further pertinent or relevant evidence. The kind of evidence you would collect at this point would be the bullet fragment, of course. I would collect a blood sample from the east wall. I would collect a sample of the blood trail just to the south of the bed. And of course, the photographs that you would want. By the way, there was post-mortem lividity present in both victims, for the man from the waist down, and the woman in the lower back area, buttocks, and lower legs. Both victims were fully engaged in rigor mortis. And at about this time, the coroner has arrived. The coroner is going to insert a liver thermometer, and the liver temperature of the woman is 90 degrees Fahrenheit. He's going to move over and do a liver temperature check of the man. He's inserted the liver thermometer, and he's determined that the man's body temperature, liver temperature, is 89 degrees. The coroner and his assistant are going to be removing the bodies, but take photographs of both bodies first. You need to document all wounds that we have talked about, document the post-mortem lividity in the female victim, and those victims can now be taken away. They are en route to LA County Morgue. Time at this point is about 12 o'clock, 12 noon. Detectives are on scene. Crime scene investigators are on scene. Crime scene investigator will collect blood samples from the east wall, from the rug, the trail that I referred to, and that will be all for that in terms of blood. This room is now processed. It is about 1 p.m. and the bedroom can be secure. Okay. We're going to examine the kitchen sliding door at this time. The significant evidence that we see, there is a hole. It's a circular hole 3 feet up from the floor, 3 feet 7 inches south off the north edge of the sliding glass door. Now, as we're looking from inside to outside, keep in mind that the left side of that door is the north side. The right side is the south side. Now, that is from the inside perspective. If we were outside looking in, it would be the reverse. You want to take a photograph of that hole. There's also a strand of blonde hair, and this hair is just above and a little bit to the left of the hole. It's a strand of blonde hair, 3 feet 10 inches up from the floor, and 3 feet 4 inches south of the north edge of the sliding glass door. We're going to collect that hair as evidence and add it to our list of evidence. Our examination is going to take us to the kitchen patio area, which is just outside the kitchen in the southeast corner of the house. There's a patio slab, oval shaped. It has a radius of 6 feet, 16 feet by 15 feet long. So 16 feet, 6 feet wide, 15 feet long. Just above that patio to the north and a little bit to the east is a footprint. In fact, according to your handout that you have been given, it is 5 feet east of the southeast corner of the house. It is 27 feet north of the south side of the house. You need the CSI to get a cast of that footprint, and you need a photograph of that footprint. Nearby, again, just above that footprint in the oval patio slab, is a circular piece of glass. It's 8 feet 3 inches east of the east side of the house and 30 feet north of the south edge of the house. This glass is the approximate size and shape of the hole in the patio door, just by way of information. Across the entry road that leads into the Leeds property is a gate. The gate connects the fence on either side of that gate. The gate is motion detector and laser activated system. There are housing units on either side of the gate post. Power is supplied by a 3/4 inch plastic conduit. Approximately 2 feet east and west of these fence posts, there is a 1 foot cut in the ground, and you can see by looking into the cut or the trench that the conduit providing power to this electronic system has been severed. Looking a little farther east from that area, east of the gate, about 6 feet, on the south side of the driveway is a speaker box containing an electronic locking system for the gate. Wires to this system appear to have been stripped, and there's an outside lead attached bypassing the main system. Take appropriate photographs of the trench, the severed conduit, the gate itself, and there is an alligator clip still attached to the loose lead. I would collect that alligator clip for evidence. And on the speaker box, make sure you take appropriate photographs of that.